A lot of issues happening, and it's been a long time since I've come. I'm really sorry for that, viewers. It's been 28 days precisely since I have put out a video on this channel. From now onwards, I'll surely be constant enough to put videos every weekend. Now, after 28 days, finding a topic became a major question. What topic should I take was a major question to me. There are power shortages, Twitter being sold to Elon Musk, communal rights happening every now and then, the language war, the loudspeaker debate, Raj Thackeray coming back to politics, state versus center on the fuel prices, and a lot. The list seems unending. So I have taken up two big stories of the week, viewers. My lead story this weekend is WHO versus India's COVID-19 death tally. WHO numbers is 10 times the government's numbers. So, in this edition, let's know who's right and who is wrong. And also, few simple questions to WHO. I don't feel that they'll take it simple as we take it. So, few simple questions to WHO. Followed by that, the second story of the week, the national language debate breaks up. So, let's speak about that, viewers. So, let's start this D.India Focus weekend edition. I am Sricharan. Before I start with this edition, viewers, I request each and every one of you to do subscribe, hit the bell icon, and support this youngest team in Indian journalism. Now, WHO has given the numbers out according to the reports of WHO. It says India's COVID-19 excess deaths at 47,40,894 during 2020 and 2021. The government's data for the same period is 4,81,486. Also, the point here is, viewers, I might have agreed to WHO if their numbers were 2 or 3% high, but it seems that it's 9x or 10x times high. A country like India, which is highly and densely populated, might miss out on few numbers of death, but missing out on such a huge, large number seems unimaginable. I have few big questions to WHO, but before those questions, let me put out a tweet on 14 Jan 2020 by WHO, and that's on your screen, viewers. You're looking at a tweet which says, and I quote, preliminary investigations conducted by the Chinese authorities have found no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission. Also, WHO did not have the spine to question China on the outbreak of Wuhan virus. They didn't ask the origin, they didn't ask how did it spread. Thus, WHO neither has credibility or reliability. That's totally clear, viewers, from this. Now, coming back to India, we have seen news channels, newspapers, websites, and news and current affairs YouTubers put out videos and debate about the lack of crematoriums, the lack of oxygen beds, the lack, and also bodies in Ganges, floating in Ganges. Whereas WHO feels India is such a dark nation where the numbers are not put out, where the numbers are not reliable. And WHO feels mathematical models are more reliable to them. I never question the mathematicians over here, but when a nation is ready to provide numbers, WHO feels private websites are more reliable. I don't know from where did they get this logic and how did their mind work towards this beautiful logic. But anyhow, let them give the numbers and let's also wait for the reliable and credible sources. Let's wait for the numbers to come up. The second big story of the week, viewers. People on one hand feel Hindi is being imposed as the national language, whereas people on the other hand feel Hindi should be the national language. The national language debate has sparked up. Who's right, who's wrong, and what does our constitution say about it? Let's start with the constitution. Article 343, clause 1 says Hindi in Devanagari script will be the official language in India. There's no national language rumor that, viewers. It's just the official language. Hindi and English will be the official language is what at the beginning of the constitution was said. Article 344, clause 1 says the president shall form committee after 5 years of the commencement of the constitution if required. But by 1965, the languages had to be reviewed. There came the issue. Lal Bahadur Shastri was really happy with shifting over to Hindi as the national language and the official language. But the protests broke out in Tamil Nadu and few other southern states, which continued to go violent, and thus Lal Bahadur Shastri decided that shifting over Hindi as the national language was a wrong idea. And I feel that was right. What he felt was right, because if Hindi is to be imposed as a national language, it's quite difficult for the people in southern states to converse. People would have to learn that language, and that also would surely create a barrier or a boundary between north and south. I feel going with the same status quo would be the final solution to it. Coming to the week's news, viewers. Maharashtra government to seek cancellation of bail to Rana couple for violating court's conditions. Maharashtra is in news since the last week, because the next news also coming from Maharashtra. Lord Ram doesn't bless those with fake emotions. Sanjay Rawat on Raj Thakkre's Ayodhya visit. BJP's faulty policies behind rising unemployment, diminishing household income, says Akhilesh Yadav. Nearly 48% rise in home isolation cases of COVID-19 in the last 1 week. Delhi records minimum temperature of 22.4 degrees Celsius, heat wave unlikely this week. India forex reserves drop below $600 billion after 8 weeks of decline. BJP Sirsa says cop who arrested Tajinder Baga had drug links. International news. Looking at the international news, three big international news, viewers. Sri Lanka cancels leave of security forces amid second emergency in 5 weeks. Crude oil prices to remain volatile as US dollar trades near a 20-year high. Dozens feared dead after Russian bomb levels Ukraine school. It's been almost 3 months plus since this war started, and even this seems unending. I'll wrap up this edition of D.India Focus over here, viewers. Until the next time I meet you all, signing off. Sricharan. Thank you, viewers. Thank you for watching me.